We can find the measure of an angle by using a protractor. A protractor typically looks like this, something along these lines at least. And typically when we're using a protractor, you would make sure you'd line up your center mark with the vertex of the angle, and you'd line up one of the zero marks with one of the two sides. Depending on how you're measuring it, you'd either, you'd line up the left one or the right one. You wouldn't be able to line up both, most likely. And then you would read off where your other side crosses. So if we were measuring the angle EOD rather, you can see E is lined up with this zero mark. This would be the vertex of the angle, and the angle goes through here. You'd want to make sure you're reading on the correct scale. So if we're using this 0, notice that the numbers count up from this side. This would be a 60-degree angle here. I would not read the 120 because that would actually be the measure angled from AOD. That would actually be this measure, this angle right here. That would be 120 degrees, because you can see if this one's lined up with 0, we get all the way up to 120. So there's two different measurements each time you read this, and it's basically just saying which side you're going to. Alright, so in the drawing, angle AOB could be read on either scale, but okay, so AOB. Oh, it should be read on the outer scale. Okay, so that's what I was just talking about. Alright, what is the measure of angle AOD? We just exactly found that one. That one's 120 degrees, because like I said, this one right here, we want to read the outer scale, so that'd be 120 degrees. EOD, we saw that was 60. EOC, if we're talking about that angle, E starts here, we go to O, and then to C, which is right up here. Looks like that's a 90-degree angle. And actually with a 90-degree angle, it doesn't matter. You can see it's the same for the inner and the outer scale, so those are both 90 degrees. And AOC, I swear this was not written before the current political climate came to be, or it was written before the current political climate. A to O to C, we end up getting, that's also a 90-degree angle. So that is 90 degrees, this one is 90 degrees, okay. So if we wanted to, this one is not really set up for us as much yet. If we wanted to find the measure of angle DBC, so we're looking at this angle right here. Well, when we're setting up, when we're moving our protractor up above this protractor, the center mark was kind of embedded in the protractor a little bit. Some protractors, you see the center mark will be right on the very edge. You kind of have to make sure you line up wherever that center mark is. So this one, I'll do my best to line it up. It looks like right about there. It looks like it's lined up. And then you'll rotate this, and we could rotate it so our 0 mark lines up exactly with the D. And then I'm going to read off of this scale. So you can see the outer, there's the inner scale all the way along here, and the outer scale here. I'm using the outer scale because it's currently the 0, D is at the 0 of the outer scale. And it looks like this should be about a 60, I don't know, 63.5 degree. So let me zoom in on this actually a little bit so I can get a slightly better view. Take this, here we're looking at that. Yeah, I would definitely call this, so this is 61, 62, 63. It looks like it's pretty much halfway between 63 and 64. We'll call this a 63.5 degree angle. If it was lined up exactly with this mark right here, that would be 65, you can see. That looks, yeah, I would say that's 63.5.